Your biggest fan has got to be Ward Emily.
I'm his biggest fan.
Mutual respect there. So have you talked to him lately?
I have. We stay in touch pretty regularly. You know, we worked together for 19 years.
A long time.
So we can't break that bond for sure. We talk pretty regularly.
Let's get into where we are as far as the director of the Mississippi Film Institute and everything else. I know it's been busy, but are we kind of coming out of the cocoon as far as the pandemic is concerned?
Paul, you would be amazed to know that we weren't in the cocoon.
Really?
Really. I mean, not for a very long period of time. We started hosting productions last June. So we have been nonstop busy since then. You know, our state was open for business. Our incentive is strong. Our rebate program is strong. And in a weird way, the pandemic worked to our benefit. So we've been nonstop since last June. It continues. So we're real excited. We're real excited.
Do you think that mirrored itself in other states, or we maybe a little ahead of the curve?
I think we might be a little ahead of the curve. I think there are a couple other states that maybe were similar, but not very many. You know, the bigger states where you would traditionally have film production, California, New York, Georgia, they were not fully open for quite a while, and productions needed somewhere to go. We were able to do it safely here, so it happened.
You're a veteran at 19 years. You've seen it all. But
23 total.
Is that right?
Yeah, 23
So
total.
when you start looking at this, how did the Georgia thing play for other states, and particularly for us? And I mean all of the politics in Georgia.
You know, for us, I don't think that's affected us at all.
Hasn't?
Georgia
we
certainly.
We didn't get some of their business because, Georgia.
Certainly, yes. Yeah. We did.
Is that right?
People did call us because of Georgia. Even though politically there are some similarities, but we've had.
But the mark is on them right now as far as the target.
That's right. And so there have been people calling us, coming over to Mississippi, and we've been so thrilled to host them and find the right locations and communities for them.
It was kind of weird because they went through a little bit of what we went through, and I think several other people too said, you know, the state legislators look at this and said, yeah, it's great to have the movie people here. It's great to have all of this, but is it costing us money? We went through that also and had to do a little bit of an adjustment. Speak to that.
Sure. In 2018, the Institute for Higher Learning went back and looked at our return on investment, and we did a specific study on the help. And after doing that study, we learned that the return was 56 cents on the dollar, which was much higher than expected. And since then, we've seen a lot of support, almost unanimous support from our elected leaders. We're so appreciative of that, of course. We've had this incentive program since 2004, and over the years there have been tweaks made to it, and it's obviously working. It's working very well.
It seems like when we change or they change, everybody has to be on the same accord because the competition out there is tough.
There is a lot of competition.
It is a business venture, and since it is a business venture, we compete just like any other business.
Absolutely.
Politically, is there anything that rolled in as far as 2000 or January? July the 1st. Did anything rolled in as far as any rules and regulations or new laws?
No, nothing specifically. I mean, there have been a little bit of tweak in just the way that an audit will happen for the incentive program, which is great. And, you know, the Department of Revenue will have a little bit of help with a third-party audit, but otherwise, we've had a strong program and it will continue. 23
years in the pocket there. What would you like to see? What's going to take us to the next level?
Taking us to the next level would be to build up our experienced personnel. That's going to be the next thing to do.
This is the same thing that we talked about with Ward many years ago.
Right. And we were getting there, and then we had a little bit of a change in 2017 with our incentive, and then it came back strong again in 2019. And in that interim, of course, because we had experienced crew here, when the work wasn't coming here for that short period of time, they went elsewhere. So building that crew base back up will take a little bit of time, but we're getting there. And because we're so busy, we're getting people in on those entry-level positions. So they'll build that resume quickly.
I want to speak more to that. Give us an idea what that looks like on the ground. When you say that, where do these people, well, like the McRib sandwich, where do they go in between? I mean, where do they work? Where do they go in between, in between productions? Can you make a living that way?
Well, people here in Mississippi have to be diverse in their talents. That's both can be a weakness, certainly, because where do you work in between productions? But it's also a strength because many of our folks are cross-trained, whereas if you were in a production center, you do one very specific thing, and here you might have a crew member that, because in between productions, maybe they work in construction, maybe they work in the restaurant industry, they are able to bring those skill sets to the film production workplace as well. So, we're fortunate that there have been other industries that can work in conjunction with ours.
In other words, too, and I realized this as we were speaking here. Let's just say your business is electronics. You fix air conditioners or whatever it happens to be. There's a certain. I sound like somebody in the movies. There's a certain set of skills that
all right, Leo,
that are needed in that industry. And since you are an electrician, if you knew these skills and everything else, when it happens and when you're needed, you could pick up some extra money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
how do we find out about that? How do we find out what those job opportunities are?
So we're very, very active in social media. That's usually how we're getting the word out.
From the Film Institute, the website,
from Mississippi Film Office.
Okay.
Yep. So we've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're not on Snapchat, but all the normal ones. We will post if there's a crew call, if there's a casting call. That's always a fun opportunity for people just to get a sense of how does the film industry work. So sign up to be an extra, get on set, see how it works, see if there's something more that you'd like to do. But that's the first step. That's how we'll get the word out. If you're an experienced crew member, they're probably already communicating with us, so they get the word out. They get the word just directly from an email from us. But yeah, we want as many Mississippians on those sets as possible, and those producers want as many Mississippians on set as possible.
We've had some people who came in as staff from other states, and I know talked to a couple over the years that love the state so much they stayed here.
Oh, that's right. I mean, people have bought houses here. If they haven't bought houses here, they're coming back regularly. We have long time kind of love affairs with people that are from other states that just adore Mississippi, adore the people here, the communities. They have such a great time. When they're here, they're welcomed into people's homes. That's unlike their experience in other places.
I think what happens is once you get over the notoriety of somebody, they're welcomed in as part of the family and they feel comfortable.
Yes. They
it's not
automatically.
That starstruck that you would think.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, and people are original, honest, and I think that counts as far as the people of Mississippi. I'm just sitting here thinking how many of the films that you've seen over the years. Do you have any that really stand out that you've enjoyed working with?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. There have been so many. We have a production here right now called Paradise Highway, which I've been excited about.
I want to talk about that on the other side if we could get to, because we almost have a break coming up.
Sure. And Juliette Binoche is in that movie along with Morgan Freeman. And so just to have that diversity of talent and such elevated level of talent here in Mississippi has been wonderful. And I know that Juliette, being French, has not been in Mississippi before, and so it's been a new experience for her.
We can't say the same about our co-star, can we? As far as Morgan.
That's right.
God, he's got to be one of the hardest working guys in Hollywood and has been for a while.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk more, and we'll talk about what was the name of the movie?
Paradise Highway.
And it's gotten a little criticism, too.
It did.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Speaking of highways, let's go. Back with Nina Parikh, who's director of Mississippi Film Institute, and we were talking about a lot of different things. Let's go back to the name of the movie that's being filmed now in the state is called Highway 2?
Paradise Highway.
Paradise Highway. It has to do
Why do you want to do an AC/DC song?
It has to do with the Highway Patrol.
Well, it doesn't have to do with the Highway Patrol
but
exactly.
They're
But
involved.
They have been involved this past week.
What about this brouhaha between the Commissioner, Sean Tyndall, and the film industry here?
Well,
what's going on?
Social media has a funny way of
No, really?
Luckily, in the end, this production adores Mississippi, and we've been so happy to host them that it was misconstrued in the social media, but absolutely the concerns were valid, and luckily the two parties, Commissioner and the producers, have talked to each other, and the intention was certainly not to be offensive at all, and they have been talking, and so I think we're good there. But we are fortunate to have producers that come to Mississippi almost exclusively when they're here. They love their experience here. We have another production that's here right now in pre-production, and I was meeting with the producer last week, and she said, I just love it here. And she said, this is going to sound so funny, but people talk to me here. I walk down the street and they acknowledge me, and I go to the grocery store and I have a conversation with the cashier. She said, I just love it here. And I would say that is the experience that people have in Mississippi, and that's because our communities are supportive. We know our people are friendly. We have great support, through our government, and certainly, with our Highway Patrol.
I want to go back to the movie itself. Is a little bit of an idea what the outline is of that movie?
It's a story about a brother and sister, and their relationship, and what the larger story over that is a story of human trafficking, and so it's.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Is that Highway 61, or is it a specific highway?
It's not, I don't think it's a specific highway. Okay. No.
Is that being filmed mostly in the Delta area? Where is it?
It was in Jackson. It's been in the Delta, so they're getting close to being finished. And
got an idea when it's going to roll out?
My guess is it'll probably be out next year.
Is Morgan a cameo, or is he involved in? No,
he has a significant role.
Does he?
He does. It's great to have him working in the state.
I don't think he could do just a cameo.
Right.
No. I'm thinking, when was the last time he actually had a movie that was in Mississippi?
Well, funny you should say that. Yeah. This is his, I think this is his third one, and a fourth one's coming up.
Another one after this?
Another one after this.
And you can't release any information on that, or is it?
Not quite yet, but he'll be working again.
Really?
Very soon. Very soon.
He's going to be working.
We knew that.
I mean, in Mississippi. Mississippi.
Look out, Charleston! Here you come. So we'll find out about that. Let's talk a little bit about the Bruce Willis, because that was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
It kind of snuck up on us. You guys knew about it, but the general public didn't.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit. Take us through that. What happened and the aftermath.
Well, so the most exciting part, outside of Bruce Willis being in town and all of Jackson being excited about it, all of Mississippi being excited about it, the most exciting thing for me is that was a local producer. Curtis Nichols is a producer here in Jackson, Mississippi, and he's been working hard for many years, working on smaller projects.
Does he live here?
He does. He lives here, and pulled together this project, and we look to see some more from Curtis.
So he actually was the guy that put all this stuff together. How massive is that? Yeah. Just the financial part of that.
Right. Yeah, it's a big job. It seems the industry seems glamorous, but it's a lot of work.
Yes.
And
it's a business.
It is a business, and he's been working hard at it for years, and it's great to see the result of that and the success of that, and that he brings it back to Mississippi, and that will continue. And we have other producers around the state, too, that are starting to do things.
Before we leave that, though, and again, Nina Parikh is my guest. She's director, Mississippi Film Office. Before we leave that, what was the name of the movie from Bruce?
A Day to Die.
A Day to Die.
A Day to Die.
Of course, you have to have die in there. And when does that premiere?
I don't know the dates for that, but my guess is probably early next year as well.
All of that was filmed here, or most of it, or?
All of it.
All of it filmed in Jackson?
All of it filmed in Jackson, that's right.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
How much money did that bring in? Do we have some sense of, because I know there was a pretty big production crew and they stayed here for quite a while.
Yeah, but it's actually it's not it's just because Bruce Willis is in the movie doesn't mean that it's this huge Hollywood production. So, of course, we don't share budgets necessarily, specific budgets. But I will tell you this: our rebate program can allocate up to $20 million a year. There's only one year that we allocated all $20 million, and that was this fiscal year, which ended in June. This June, that's never happened before. So when I said that the doors have been open for business in Mississippi with the film industry, I am not kidding. It's been nonstop since last June.
I love hearing good news like that. We talked about Steve Azar having John Rounsaville on from MDA, and when John was on, and we got some others, and they're talking about the phone's been ringing more than it's ever been ringing. We have people interested in our state, and that's good news. And to hear you say the same thing is heartening. Okay, let's look ahead. What else is out there that you think will happen? And by the way, do we have anything as far as television is concerned?
We do. Well, of course, hometown in Laurel, Mississippi.
Man, that's number one.
Yeah.
That thing has exploded.
Oh, it's so wonderful. What they've done in Laurel, Mississippi, of course, Ben and Aaron Napier, but the whole community of Laurel and the leadership there embraced it an opportunity. And, you go down to Laurel, if you were there 10 years ago and then you visit now, night and day. It's so nice to drive into town and you see license plates from other states. They're coming in to visit Laurel. People are moving to Laurel.
Absolutely. Moving
to Mississippi because of this wonderful show that they have created and the wonderful community they've created down there.
I think they have done just an incredible job of giving the people of the country, if not the world, a look at Mississippi that they didn't expect.
Yeah.
When you have gay couples or lesbian couples or biracial couples coming in, everybody's treated equally. That has nothing to do with the story plot itself, and they come in and they find their dream home there. And I think most of them are blown away about the prices. We can get a home like that,
beautiful
for
homes.
under $200,000. Come on,
beautiful. I will imagine what the film industry thinks too when they're coming from California or New York.
How many people are with that film crew that's actually there for the most part?
Let's see. It's not a big crew. So a lot of those shows, the home renovation shows and the food shows, they don't have a huge crew. I'm going to say they're probably about 25 that are regularly working. I mean, that's including some of their design team.
Well, if you wanted me on either as a production crew for Deadliest Catch or Hometown, I'd take Hometown. So that's a lot better. It's become and I never thought you would have a home show like that would be anywhere near what happened with Waco, Texas, and those guys, Joanna and Chip. But they're getting pretty close. Now you have people actually coming into town to view this. When the train comes by, now it's they got to wave and hope they're able to spot Elvis sitting outside Graceland.
Yeah, I mean, their baby announcement was on People Magazine, the cover of People Magazine. So,
all right. So, what else is going on as far as television is concerned?
The other big television thing that happened this year was a Women of the Movement, which is an ABC series, a 6-part episodic series that will be on ABC next year. And
that was filmed where?
That was filmed in the Delta, based in Greenwood, Mississippi. So they were there for about 4 to 5 months.
This is like Desperate Housewives?
This is not like Desperate Housewives. This is a serious account of Mamie Till. So they are looking at...
So you start looking at the fiscal year that just completed. How busy were we in the pandemic year?
Like I said, we spent all $20 million of our allocation this past year. We had 16 productions here. That's not counting smaller ones. I mean, if we add that in, I don't know what the number is, but those were the 16 features.
All over the state?
All over the state, from all the way up Corinth, all the way down to the Gulf Coast, Natchez, Jackson, Delta, all over.
You think next year may be even better?
I think it could be. Absolutely. We're already busy right now. We have 2 in production, actively in production right now. And we have 6 more that are coming in between now and September.
How about that? Well, you got to come back and keep us apprised of what's going on. The call to action out there, and again, for you folks who are, looking for work or you want to add to the things that you're doing now, and Nina has said this off the air and on the air, we need your help out there. So give me an idea of who you're looking for.
We're obviously looking for the people that are specialized in the industry, the camera people, the grip and electrics, all of those people. If you have the experience already, we need to know who you are. So reach out to us, filmmississippi.org. We have a directory online that lists, it's a free directory. So if you have the experience, we want you in that directory so producers can find you. But every production needs a wide variety of talent, and I don't think everybody thinks about this. But this week, I got a call from the costume department in one of the movies. They needed a seamstress, and the production office needed furniture to rent. And we often certainly every movie needs great catering. Hello,
Yes.
We have great food in Mississippi.
Yes,
We know we have
absolutely.
great caterers, so we need to know who those are. Security, car and van rentals, sign creation. I mean, think about, we have a movie that is shooting on the highways. Do they need special signs? So there are artists that we need. I mean, even with Hometown, for example, Hometown features the artwork of our Mississippians on those walls that the world gets to see. So it goes across our economy, from hotels to seamstresses to the specialized folks. And then, you want to be an extra in a movie or you want to be an actor? Here's your opportunity. Come to our website, come to our social media and find that information, because we try to share that.
It's as easy as going to filmmississippi.org and filling out a form or something. Hey, look,
That's right.
I make candles. If you ever need candles, we're here. Call us. Here's the contact.
Right. That's right. Our directory hosts experienced crew members and then relevant vendors.
And then once you get in there and you've proven yourself, you're in for some extra money and probably bumping up with some of the stars.
That's right. That's right. It only takes one.
Film Mississippi, and then Mississippi is spelled out.
That's
FILMMISSISSIPPI.org.
And follow us on social media. We're all over it.
So, what are you looking forward to as far as the next one coming in? And who are you looking forward to meet that you haven't met?
I'm really
Besides
excited. Speaking of Tate Taylor and Natchez, Mississippi.
Natchez is doing a good job,
They
aren't they?
are killing it. Crooked Letter Picture Company is their facility down there, production facility down there. And one of the projects that I'm very excited about is called Rumble Through the Dark. It is a Mississippi-grown project based on the novel by Michael Ferris Smith, the fighter, Michael Ferris Smith from North Mississippi. So that book is being turned into a movie, and they're getting ready to go now. So Natchez is about to be busy. They've been busy, but they're ramping up.
It's not making Greg Iles angry, is it? Not his book?
I think so.
Since he's from
I think Greg Iles has a lot
I
attention as well.
do,
And
too. We've had him on a couple of times and love to get him back on.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
A couple of times?
yeah.
I think it's been a couple of times.
It's been more than a couple of
Yeah.
times. It's been every book in the last 5 years.
That's okay.
Well, hopefully the next book will be made here in Mississippi as a movie.
Was that the first time you met Morgan?
I've Morgan Freeman. I met years and years ago, since I've been in the office for so long now. So long, I can't.
Nina, don't do this to yourself.
23 years has been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
The cameras have changed in 20.
They're changing every day. Every day.
It is amazing though, because what they bring today compared to what they had to bring 20 or 30 years ago is a lot less, a lot lighter.
Just a quick note on that. I mean, because those cameras change, our people in Mississippi have been able to make their own product, and that's growing. The Curtis Nichols of the world are growing, and that's the most exciting thing.
Look,
our people are making product.
Thank you for coming in. Don't be a stranger. We've got to get you back in.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for your good work, too.